to lose.
Next game is Rase versus bloodyface.
Okay.
Bloodyface has the most interesting deck of the day so far, with his Highlander Zoo Warlock.
Yep.
And we do have the Warlock banned away from Rase, and Bloodyface's Warriors banned, so no Warrior Mirror possible on the table. But interesting that Warlock was banned. What do you think about that?
Well, when you're... I honestly don't know. So if you expect he's protecting his priest, which leads me to believe that he's trying to target Druid, because he has obviously the combo priest. Wait, no. Yeah. He has the combo priest. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong list, which leads me to believe he's trying to target Druid. And so if he assumes that if he protects his priest, he assumes that his warrior is going to be banned, which means that the actual straight-up Zoo Warlock just gains a bunch of percentage points against the remainder of his decks.
That's right.
So kind of a little bit of mind games there, I guess, because you do the protect first before you do the ban, and you reveal them at the same time, so you don't have a chance to react to anything but your opponent's protect. So I like it. I think that it would be pretty equal if he had banned Warlock or Warrior. In that case, if you see Shaman protected, like if you look at the matchups across the board, it's pretty equal if you ban Warrior or Warlock in that situation.
Makes sense.
He just maybe thinks that he has more game against the Warrior than he does against the Warlock with his remaining 3 decks.
Yeah, Warlock is certainly in a very contentious spot, especially if you're playing a Highlander Warlock. That is a series of unusual cards that do make it into the deck along with Zephyrus. I want to see that deck in action, and so that's the one question mark in my mind. I know Firebat's a big fan of that deck. He also brought Highlander Zoo this weekend.
Yeah.
He thinks it's good against... even the mirror, specifically.
Yeah, because you can. Zephyrus is a huge swing in the mirror. You're guaranteed a board clear at almost any stage, because like if you have 2 mana remaining, likely Arcane Explosion clears. If you have 3 mana remaining, or 4 mana remaining, you can get Hellfire or Shadow Flame.
You said specifically not Shadow Pact, Sacrificial Pact.
Sacrificial Pact is a great tempo swing in the early game.
Massive tempo swing.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different things. The one thing is that it's much less consistent. Like you have a lot of cards that don't synergize as well with each other. Like the normal Zoo Warlock has like all of the lackeys plus the I can never remember the name of the card. Evil Recruiter. So you have like this consistent power curve, whereas Highlander Warlock just has a bunch of things that may not. Like you play a Serpent Egg and then what? But Bloodyface is going to be playing the combo Priest, and Rase is going to be playing Warrior for game 1. So no Highlander Warlock yet. We'll get there.
We'll see. I mean, they don't have to play the Highlander Warlock if they don't want to.
Yeah.
Bloodyface is playing the Witchwood Piper Holy Ripple deck, a version of the Priest deck, which I feel like is a lot better versus the Shamans out there as opposed to the Warrior. So this one, on paper, looks good for Rase. With the Town Crier fighting Flunky Curve, the 1-2 punch looking already very good for a Warrior player.
You know what's better than Witchwood Piper? Bwam Samdi.
Is it in the deck?
No.
Okay, well, then don't talk to me.
You know who would agree with me? Just a world champion. The current world champion. Currently rank 1 legend in Europe.
That is Arena world champion, Hunter Rase, HS.
Yeah, recently. Recent addition to his trophy case.
Well, Frightened Flunky hits the board. Bloodyface has a massive punish with Ritualist.
This place is scary.
Megadillo.
With Ziliax and Tomb Warden in hand, that seems pretty enticing. And these other options are not fantastic. Let's do it. Problem for Rase is that he doesn't really have a play.
It's true.
For a while. He's probably going to need to Omega Assembly next turn to try and find something.
Brutal. +5.
Okay, Restless Mummy's good.
You know, if I'm Rase, I'm thinking about a Mega Assembly in this position and what I can do with it. I don't think it's one of those games where you get to even play Omega Assembly on 10 and it mattering versus, let alone playing all 3 of the mechs that you would discover. Weaponized Pinata, Beryllium Nullifier, Nightmare Amalgam. None of these are taunts, so they don't have any of this synergy with the Armageddillo. So the number, turn 4, you're going to play Restless Mummy. Turn 5, you're thinking about Ziliax. 6 is Armageddillo. Instead, maybe you can hold on to Ziliax and think about your best play on turn 5.
Yeah, I think you just pick the cheapest option, so it's the most flexible.
Sure.
Because I don't think Weaponized Pinata, Beryllium Nullifier are good enough to like warrant taking them over something that just gives you a bunch of flexibility. Ooh! Powered Shield. Powered Shield, Divine Spirit.
Does seem reasonably good, but I think Injured Blademaster makes more sense too.
Yeah, I agree. If you go all in on 1 minute earlier without a guaranteed way to capitalize on it, it means that you're going to be more susceptible to a brawl. And also, Bloodyface has Psychopomp in hand, so he's pretty okay with this Injured Tolvir dying, because it means he just gets to bring it back next turn. So, spreading the wealth here on the board. It's early enough to where Warpath's not going to punish him. I like it.
No tune can hold
I still
me.
think Race is going to need a little help. Always scary. Warrior is a favorite in this matchup, but it's not an auto win. There still can be some pretty difficult turns.
Yeah, Psychopomp here, very nice, just to add more tempo. The curve, giving Rase some fits. He doesn't have the luxury. Ooh, that was a good draw. However, there is a way for it to be massively punishing. If the Injured Blademaster survives, the Neferset Ritualist is going to go off.
Oh yeah, he's basically back to square one, but almost in a worse off position. Because the board is, he brawls, Injured Blademaster survives, the board's bigger and more consolidated. Okay. I mean,
that just means that the highest health minion survives. Wow. Hold on. Isn't that just the same thing? Just a little bit slower?
But the question is, do you Neferset Ritualist or do you Injured Blademaster? Or do you heal?
That's a good point. Maybe you just Injured Blademaster and heal the 4/3.
And then if Rase clears off the Injured Tolvir, then you can Neferset Ritualist the Reborn plus the Injured Blademaster next turn. Is there anything you can play around specifically? Is having the extra attack on the board worth it? Turn 6, Armageddillo is on your mind.
Life is enough.
Does Rase have a Super Collider? He does. So
yeah, I think this is the Armageddillo turn, because this is what you've been setting up for. You want to get the buff on the Ziliax. And Bloodyface wants to get in on the health total with these double Divine Spirit pickups.
Oh.
Bloodyface going for the Powered Shields. He finds Inner Fire. Ooh, not quite.
I mean, Circle of Healing is okay. He has to trade everything in and then circle. And then he's still left with the full health Injured Tolvir, full health Injured Blademaster. But
alternatively, you can Wild Pyromancer and then Divine Spirit, but then you set yourself up for the Plague of Wrath.
Which there is a copy of in Race's deck. That one's tougher.
I must consider.
Let's move quickly.
And then with Wild Pyromancer in hand, if you draw Witchwood Piper or if you draw Northshire Cleric, you'd want to have Wild Pyromancer plus Circle of Healing in hand. Okay.
I mean, I like it. I think you're all in. I think Warrior's a bad matchup. I hope they don't have it. Rase does not, but he's trying to set up. He's trying to set up layers of responses to what bloodyface can do, and his Ziliax is at 5 attacks, so it would go through that first layer of the injured Tolveer.
Unity, precision.
And it would heal him out of range of, I think, most lethal possibilities. Bloodyface. Heal with the full if you'd have to attack in. Oh, no, actually. Interfire would have done it there. Would it have? Because the injured Blade Master would go up to 17 down to 16. You'd Circle of Healing. Trade in the Wild Pyromancer after, you go up to 32. Yeah.
I must consider.
So you'd have. Yeah,
Yeah,
it would have been lethal. Yeah, it would have been lethal.
Still can be if bloodyface draws it next turn and Rase doesn't have a taunt, but Rase has 2 taunts.
Yeah. 2 big ones. Armageddon buff 2 Mordants.
I wonder.
Quite large. A couple of 5/8s. But just gonna once again.
Yeah, this is a tough
protect
turn
his board
for bloodyface because once again he has to go even more all in and hope that Rase doesn't have it. But the benefit is he gets to heal the 418 and then still get put out of range of the Plague of Wrath. And Rase has to just play the 2 Mord and hope that bloodyface can't get past it. And the nice thing is it's 16 life that he has to chew through.
Yeah, bloodyface has 1 Silence, 1 Topsy-Turvy in the deck. He could just, if he draws Interfire, could just say Divine Spirit Interfire the injured Blade Master, make it a 36/36, and say, okay, you have to eventually find a way to deal with this, or I'm going to kill you as soon as it can attack base.
Bloodyface just keeps drawing the same cards over and over. He drew 2 Divine Spirits, 2 Circle of Healings, 2 Injured Tolveers, 2 Neferset Ritualists.
2 injured Blade Masters? No.
Yes.
Wait,
Yes, he
yeah.
did.
Oh, yeah, he did, because 1 died in the brawl, and then he drew the second one. So it's all of his 2-ups.
I wonder.
The only single card he's played so far this game that he hasn't drawn the second copy of is Wild Pyromancer. Oh, and Power Shield, but that's it. And Psychopomp. Okay, there's a lot. There's a lot. Whatever, man.
So then what's the out here? Is it bloodyface trade into all of the trade everything into 1 and then just Circle of Healing after? Hit this, heal the 2/4.
And Circle of Healing.
Quickly.
I don't know if he's Circle of Healing.
Yeah, I think you
needs
want
it for
Northshire Cleric.
Cleric.
Yeah. Witchwood Piper also draws Northshire Cleric.
That's a good one.
Oh wait, no, bloodyface has Light Wardens also in the deck. Okay. So it's not a guaranteed Northshire Cleric draw from the Witchwood Piper. But it's a 50-50.
So the Dr. Boom Mad Genius, I think that ends up being a pretty good draw.
I wonder.
Because then Rase has a higher chance of anything that he draws can highly impact the board state.
Also gives him some armor to bank on for Shield Slam. Though Shield Slam will just tickle this injured Blade Master.
I wonder.
Anything helps, you know. Even if you just do a Mega Devastator and put it down to 21, I think that's important.
Yeah.
That belongs in a museum.
Okay.
All right, for Harrison Jones to draw 3 cards. I think that's how Desperate Rase is. Just find a way to remove this 431. If he finds that, you know, ability to even brawl this away potentially would be huge.
Brings it down to a 425.
Power shield. Bloodyface only is looking for one card, which is Northshire Cleric right here.
Whoa.
Is someone injured?
Now he can
want
heal
to-
and
yeah.
circle.
So he wanted to heal first, he does. Lesser heal.
So he's looking for silence.
Oh boy.
Silence? If he circles and draws silence, it's game over.
Alternatively, he could draw 2 cards with the circle play by attacking into the 5/8 first. He's going for the circle.
I think you take the 1 in 14.
Another Northshire Cleric. But that's still a decent contingency plan.
Yeah.
33.
Raises
30.
Raises reactions. Priceless.
That's a lot.
All right, we need a Mega Devastator here to tickle it again. He still has our Mega
Is
Dilla
it
to
a
put a taunt
lot?
away.
Yeah.
Dr.
Okay, wait, hold on.
Okay.
The idea, though, is that you're at 33 is the most damage you can take. So
Play Dr. Boom Mad Genius.
maybe you do play Dr. Boom Mad Genius. I don't know. Rase is fishing hard for the Plague of Wrath. It's been eluding him.
He has some time. He has some time.
Okay, Armageddillo,
He could take 2 hits.
as far as he knows.
No, he can. There's no way to buff the health of this injured Blade Master anymore.
Ooh. That's a helpful one. Make it Devastator.
And no laser.
Is someone injured?
Not that many good hits here for Bloodyface outside of Silence. High Priest of Met. That's
Okay.
pretty good with the Acolyte.
I see a dark future.
And Rase still looking for that Plague of Wrath. Still not drawing it.
Has a shield block. Can still Warpath Plague of Wrath with the shield block.
Or Brawl number 2.
Or Brawl number 2.
So he has 2 out of 11 draws that are good. He still hasn't found any of them.
And he could still take a hit from the injured Blade Master.
Well, he did find 1 Brawl earlier, so that actually does decrease the chance of him
What
finding
now?
those removal options.
So, like I said, Bloodyface has used both Divine Spirits. He's used both Circle of Healings, and he's used both Power Word Shields, if I remember correctly. Yeah, both Power Word Shields. So he has no way to actually buff the health of the injured Blade Master, so it is stuck at 33 attack. Unless it has more max health. But then he's used both circles.
Phantom Militia.
That is annoying.
That's pretty big. I think you also want to remove your card draw sources from your opponents, so you want to kill the Cleric and maybe Omega Devastate the 1/7? Ah, it's close.
He's only drawing 1 card next turn. He's added Northshire Cleric, so there's no way he could draw like Pyromancer plus a spell. So I don't think the Acolyte of Pain is as high value, but he did play the Frightened Flunky though. So, all right, let's draw a card.
Does need to draw. Inner Fire number 2. That Frightened Flunky. Scaredy cat, but very effective to get in the way of this injured Blade Master. If he plays a second Acolyte, Rase is going to play 3 Phantom Militias.
I must consider.
Or Plague of Wrath.
Or Plague of Wrath, or Brawl, cards you could have drawn at this point.
I don't even know if you'd want to risk the Brawl. If he draws Brawl, I think he's still Phantom Militiaing. Because if you Brawl and the 33-26 survives, it should be a 33-24 at least.
Quickly.
Then you're in trouble. Maybe he'd want to play around like Wild Pyromancer shenanigans, like Wild Pyromancer spell, Holy Ripple spell.
There's no like mass dispel.
Nope. There's a single copy of Silence left in the deck. There's both Witchwood Pipers. There's a Psycho Pomp.
Yep, both
There's
Light Wardens.
Yep, both Light Wardens, a Wild Pyromancer, a Holy Ripple, and a Topsy-Turvy. So, once this injured Blade Master goes down, there's not much left. If it ever goes down.
I wonder.
You know, I was thinking that I was thinking if there's any way for Rase to play anything besides Phantom Militia, but it just looks like Phantom Militia every way I justify it.
Yep.
Wild Pyromancer here would treat
It's a clear. Wild Pyromancer is a clear. Oof.
Wait. Hold on.
That is a board clear. Wild Pyromancer.
Oh, but the armor gain.
He can topsy-turvy the... Yeah, you can topsy-turvy the... Eternium Rover to minimize the armor gain. So he needs to win by attacking twice. So 66. If he's not going to go above 66, you're okay. So he gains 6 armor, you go up to 20, that'll be 46. You're okay.
Okay.
You can topsy-turvy the Wild Pyromancer.
I thought you want to topsy-turvy one of the 2/4s.
You push through him no matter what. Because each of his spells deals 1, Holy Ripple deals 2.
Oh yeah, and then topsy-turvy on the Pyromancer.
But I want the Pyromancer to be dead.
Oh.
So that's why.
Oh, to minimize the brawl.
Yeah, so that's why I wanted a topsy-turvy.
Oh.
He's gonna topsy-turvy Wild Pyromancer. Yeah. I wanted the Pyromancer to be dead.
Yeah. No, the topsy-turvy on the 1/3 actually makes a lot of sense there. Call out. Still looking for the Plague of Wrath. Doesn't find it. Rase can't believe
He's
it.
dead!
Wait. Is there a taunt you can pull out with the boom? The boom ship?
Boom Reaver?
The Boom Reaver?
2 Morden!
There's a 2 more in the deck.
There's only 8 cards. But then Bloodyface has 6 cards, and one of those is a Silence.
What now?
Is there any other taunts? He's used Ziliax. He used our Megadillo. He used both Frightened Flunkies.
No. There's a couple of whiffs as well. Like Restless Mummy.
The whiffs are, yeah, Restless Mummy. There's 1 copy of Restless Mummy left.
I wonder.
Wait, is that it? Omega Devastator number 2? Yeah.
Omega Devastator 2.
So there's a few minions that he has.
Wait, no, both Omega Devastators, because the first one was discovered? How is that possible?
Omega something?
I must choose.
Oh, yeah.
So he has a few whiffs here, but
Oh,
he
jeez.
hit 1.
Oh, jeez, this is going to be 2 Morden? He's dead! He's dead!
Wow, the priest got there.
He's dead! What in the world?
I can't believe it.
Oh, man. Best deck in the game.
Yeah, you just have to fade like any amount of answers for like 7 turns in a row.
Best deck in the game.
That Rase is devastated.
Oh, I still think that last turn was slightly sloppy from Bloodyface. I think
Because
killing off the
Brawl
Wild
would've
Pyromancer is correct because it gives a brawl out at the very end, which, I mean, maybe he was thinking, I dodged it for this long.
Nah, I think you realized
Yeah.
he messed up too because Rase was ready to throw down the brawl with any other minion too.
Yeah.
But that's just our first game in this best of 3. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to find out what happens in this best of 3.
Shadows are rising again, darker than they've ever been. As evil descends from the skies, the world cries out, how will we survive? Out of the hall of explorers, and up from the dusty tombs, they grab their whips and fedoras. These legends of the past know exactly what to do. There might be magic monsters, mummies in the markets, and ancient mysticism. There's surely scorching deserts, adventure, monster, and narcissism. How states think annihilation, obliteration of civilization. Now is the time to be brave. Evil's come to enslave, but this league's gonna save the world.
My name is Brian Easton, also known as Bloodyface. When I first started playing Hearthstone, the first deck that I crafted was Miracle Rogue, and it was pretty much the only deck I played. I love combo style decks. I don't like really being aggressive per se, but I like having a deck that has a very aggressive finish. I think my X factor, maybe my defining characteristic, is that I think about everything. I mean, you could say that's like a characteristic of overthinking, but I think it's important to overthink because you're playing against like the best minds. And it's important to be understanding that everyone else is also capable of doing that. So you need to be able to outthink everybody. From a competitive standpoint, I want to improve as a player. Against Hunter Rase, I think I made a pretty big mistake. I really care about just making sure that whenever I play Hearthstone, it's my best Hearthstone. Initially, when I found out about Grandmasters, I kind of felt like it was just like kind of another league. But it wasn't until I was actually standing next to the other Grandmasters at Worlds that it made me feel like kind of emotional. We just had such a high concentration of like pure talent to actually hit that level and rub shoulders alongside them. It means a lot to me. Playing at the highest level is super interesting because people do unpredictable things. So I look forward to the mind games.
My name is Lucas Guerra Romano. When I was like 11 or 12, I don't know if I saw like the word raise, like people using poker, raise your bet or something. And oh, this word is kind of nice, and then I cut the letter I, and then I use it just raise. That's how I created my nick, and I'm using it since I was like 11 years old or something. So last year was pretty huge for me. I have had a lot of great achievements, finished like top 18 points on NA. Being here, being a Grandmaster, like people will recognize me as a Grandmaster, and that's pretty cool. I'm always looking for a win, but being here together with the best players in the world, I will try to push myself a lot. It's pretty easy to win a game that's our favor, that you drew well, but you need to win bad matchups, games that you have a small percentage to win. Like, you need to evaluate when you need to risk something or when you just need to play pretty safe. This is what I try to do, and I think I do well sometimes. I'm here to win. I will try my best for it.
Bloodyface currently up 1-0 over Rase and ready to get the series win under his belt. Important one, given that Bloodyface not off to the best of starts comparatively. I think most people in general feel like these early weeks might not have the biggest of consequences, but they are the laying foundation for what things are going to develop into the coming weeks, and whether or not players feel like they can take a bigger risk or have to be a little bit more conservative. And I feel like getting this early win is going to be huge for that.
Yeah, you have to understand the current meta in order to predict the future meta. So if you fall behind as far as the meta game is concerned, it's going to take you too long to catch up, right? And I think that's the problem that bloodyface faced last season.
Bloodyface.
Where he like caught on to the trends like a week late, and that put him behind a week behind everybody else. I'm doing a little motion with my hands here. Dan's mimicking me. It's a good motion.
No, I'm synchronizing with you.
There we go. It's like a butterfly
We're
stroke.
corrupting the waters together.
It's like a miniature butterfly. All right, but let's get into it. Quest Shaman versus Quest Druid.
I really like this matchup.
Oh, we tested this matchup extensively yesterday.
I think Druid is favored in it.
Yes.
But I think that Shaman has a lot of game.
Yes.
And I think it's very fun to battle back and forth. That opening hand is a lot better now. Before I was like, questing explorer, but now with 2 questing explorers and a sludge slurper.
Ooh, a second Lodi.
Yeah, but I think the second Starfall might be even more impactful, given that...
No! Lodi. Or bust.
Okay.
No, you can.
Big fan of Thor over here. Starfall number 2, I think, is important, given that Shaman likes to build big boards, and that's like the one way you can win in this matchup.
Yeah. No, I think you're correct. Yeah. Lodi just feels so good, though. You double dip on every spell damage card you have. It's like +2 spell damage, and double Lodi is like +4 spell damage.
I'm still reeling over here because you just like brought down the hammer and like slammed the desk.
I can't even tell.
One more time for emphasis.
I can't even tell that played with microphone. Yeah. That
Slurping.
That hurt my fragile gaming fingers.
Yes. You need those fingers to traverse Azeroth to retrieve 5 map pieces so you can level up 1 time in 2 hours.
Yeah, I know. I haven't played probably nearly as much Classic WoW
It is
as I could have.
Quite staggering to me, the level of nostalgia that is seen for this game, and I did not get the pleasure of playing WoW early on because I couldn't afford WoW when I was young when it first came out, and I just really have a hard time engaging with the content because TJ, it's a lot of walking, and let me tell you something, today I did a lot of walking on the way to the studio because I got lost on the way here. I recently moved across the street, and I thought it'd be a very simple walk.
It's not.
It's not. It's actually fairly complicated, and it took like an hour. And I'm sick of walking. And so you're telling me that you want to go home after casting a warrior mirror or 2. Yep, it's going to happen sometime right before today ends. The first thing you want to do is walk some more.
Well, I'll put it this way. I'm by far the lowest level out of anybody I know. So I haven't been doing that much walking.
Ferocious Howl floats a mana. Then next turn starts the comeback train.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Rase is not developing big behind this.
So a couple things you're looking for in this matchup are you're looking for ways to swing the board back in your favor.
Well, he did pick up the evil Cable Rat, which allows him to hero power and slurp.
Yep, that is true. You want to build big boards that also generate value. You want to force the Starfall out on cards that are not particularly powerful by themselves and also gave you more cards to use. The second thing is you kind of need AoE. The Druid is going to get to a point where they're clearing your board with a mixture of AoE spells and then developing their own board behind it. And you need a way to kind of do that yourself. One of the big ways is Earthquake, discovered off Ethereal Lackey, but he's not getting any Ethereal Lackeys.
Getting Goblin Lackeys, which implies that his hand should be a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
It's not really going to get that much aggressive, though. Bloodyface, with so many 3 health minions on the opposing side of the board, Starfall's not going to clear everything.
But with Lodi, he can Lodi Wrath this turn. And then set up for a Starfall next turn with Anuba South Defender. Or he can just Lodi with Ward the Expedition. Whew. Scenario is just the best in a nutshell card. He already has Wrath and Druid of the Scythe. Mediocre.
Okay. Now, that's an interesting one.
Now we're cooking.
Now, that's admirable.
I wonder.
Do you unleash it here, knowing that Starfall is pretty likely?
What's the average stat line of an 8 mana minion? Keep in mind, there's Pit Croc.
Probably 6/6.
Well, I don't want it then, because that just dies to the first half of Starfall.
You have Talanji, Tyrion, Pit Croc.
I mean, there's like a handful of other.
Those are the only ones I ever see.
Yeah. There's like Guild Name card. For some reason, I get that card a lot. Card. Yeah. There's like Fell Lord.
Fell Lord Betrug, yeah. Wait, Fell Lord Betrug is
it 7 or 8?
I think he got. I think he went down to 7. Maybe I'm wrong. I played a lot of Plot Test Warlock at the beginning of the set.
You might be right.
Which I played Fell Lord Betrug.
There's like.
And I crafted him and then never played the deck again.
What about the splitting tree or the splitting root?
No, he's 8. You're right. Oh, the splitting Fester root.
Yeah.
Splitting Fester root? That's pretty annoying to deal with, honestly.
Yes. Ooh, the Vulpera Scoundrel. I'm a fan.
I'm not as big of a fan. Now, Soup Vendor. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. The juice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, the 2 Flesh Shapers plus the 2 Goblin Lackeys plus the Sandstorm Elementals. There's a board clear here. Nope, almost a board clear. Nope, there is a board clear here. Because the double buff. Yep.
And bloodyface, one of the things that I think is pretty crucial to the game plan of Questurid is protecting the loading. I mentioned earlier, all your spell damage spells double up because they're effectively all choose ones, or in the case of swipe, just a double up anyway. And oftentimes it can be even more beneficial to leave it stealth and miss damage than it is to not.
I wonder if it was better for Rase to use his Goblin Lackey instead of bumping with his other Flesh Shaper, because now a Starfall #2 is very devastating. Even if it was Wrath and Swipe, it would also do like critical amounts of damage.
Yeah. But he felt like he had to clear that board. Now, Floop is a very big resource that Bloodyface ended up using for the Anubis Defender. But at this point, it was like either Floop this and build a bigger board that might be harder for Rase to deal with, or utilize a lot of resources to do so, or wait for Cenarius, which is a long time.
You Floop this or you Floop that. 2 Vulpera Scoundrels, Elemental Reaction, and what? Zap? Ancestral Spirit? These are all kind of meh. I might even take the Mystery Choice.
Oh yeah, I'm taking Mystery Choice. It could be anything.
Yeah.
Mystery Choice. I mean, I said it could be anything.
Rase is laughing. It's like, I don't even know what I was expecting, and I'm still disappointed.
All right, time for Cenarius to hit the board.
Yeah, let the tree hit the board. The Cenarius mix coming this summer.
I was slightly tempted.
Second mutate hitting.
Oh. I was slightly tempted to play the Oasis Surger last turn.
It's true. Although Oasis Surger is like a way to respond to the board. So,
Yeah, I would have wanted to follow up into scenarios. But also, I mean, Oasis Surger would not have allowed that joke as much as scenarios. So I think that has swayed my decision.
Yeah.
Retroactively.
Well, the nice thing about the Oasis Surger setup here is that he will get a double mind control tech steal if he doesn't kill a single minion. He's gonna hit it. He's gonna kill one of them. So.
Oh, Totemic Surge.
Oh yeah. Oh, the revenge of the evil totem. Evil totem's in Totemic Surge. Did you realize that? The card art?
Really?
Yeah, look at it in the Magistry bar. It's an evil totem.
Oh wow, it is.
It's got the little fishy thing on top.
If you don't believe Dan,
It's got the breast cancer awareness symbol. That's a cool totem. How can it be evil? It's clearly fighting the good fight. Thoughts and prayers? Thoughts and prayers?
There's a lot at once.
Oasis Surger. I'm thinking about it.
He wants to play on
looking
mind
pretty
control
good.
tech, though.
Yeah.
There's 2 mind control techs in Race's Shaman deck, actually. So,
Well, it's because the first technician never solves the problem. So
Time waits for no one.
yeah.
just ask Brian Gilbert. Shout out to Brian Gilbert, by the way. He's moving this weekend. He needs honest thoughts and prayers because moving is quite the ordeal. Hauling all the way from SoCal.
Yeah, especially if you're not moving to the Inland Empire.
Yes, he is missing out.
He is.
The FOMO is real.
I hope you like my invention.
Big nightlife. down in the
Kibler's
Inland
moving like
Empire.
5 minutes away from me.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna do live Omnistone?
You know, that's actually not a bad idea. Not a bad idea.
Do you want my PayPal?
Maybe we should start
Should I
an
forward it to-
OnlyFans account.
Should I forward it to OmniSlash?
I was thinking about that, right? Having an OnlyFans account to get a working mic. It's what the fans really want. Theolaki times 2. Bloodlust, Lightning Storm, Hex. These are great options. Hex makes the most sense, given that you're trying to fight back for the board. Bloodlust isn't a very Bloodlust is an optimistic option.
Oh, Blazing Invocation.
There is little time.
Okay, Blazing Invocation. Given that you are a Battlecry Shaman, I see the synergy. I also would like to slosh something. Sloshing sounds pretty good.
You a big slosher these days, Dan?
Naga Sandwich. No attack on the 0-1. This is actually a really good move by Rase because it increases the chances of Mind Control Tech landing.
Yep. Ooh. So, Bloodyface can play her on Mind Control Tech again with Oasis Surger and you trade one. But then he can't play a Nubisat Defender. I don't know how much he wants to play into it. Like,
I wonder.
you know it's there. And you think to
fairly
yourself,
obvious.
how bad can it be, right? With Oasis Surger, pretty bad, because it's a 2-for-1. So I think Oasis Surger, trade in Oasis Surger.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel too bad given that my opponent used a Mutate and a Witchy Lackey on the, on his minions. So you don't really, it's not like you're losing too much value. Because you're thinking, oh, I'm trading like an entire token. I'm trying to like get these really big value trades.
I think getting rid of the Ethereal Lackey is important. Out of those 3 lackeys, seems to be the most impactful when Bog sloshed.
That just sounds so inappropriate. No wonder Hearthstone's rated T for teen. Is it though? Actually, I think they're trying to lower their rating right to E.
Did they? I don't know.
I didn't know because there was alcoholic references.
Yeah, alcoholic references. It's hard to avoid
and by
that.
alcohol, we totally mean what you rub on your cuts and wounds when you scrape it from having too much fun outdoors in the playgrounds with all your Nerf guns.
Exactly.
And
the type of alcohol you'd find in a tavern.
Yeah.
Rubbing alcohol.
That's what we meant. The innkeeper is really a nurse in his spare time.
Yeah.
Wartbringer.
Mojo Master's interesting, though it may affect you more than it affects your opponent because you want to spend 2 mana hero power every turn.
True, but your opponent's coming up on some of their best turns. I like the Mojo Master.
Actually, you can set your opponent's mana crystals to 5 twice.
Yes, or you can
Yeah, nicely sloshed.
Sanded and sloshed.
Bloodyface is playing the list that does not have Chef Nomi. So King Pharaohs is his big, huge board generation. Not that big right now. It'd be a Wisp, a 4-drop, and a 3-drop.
I wonder.
And it'd be an invitation for Rase to play Mind Control Tech.
How do we say the king's name? I really don't know.
Ferris?
It's Ferris, right?
Yeah.
Someone told me it's like Faoris.
Ferris?
Yeah, Faoris.
Actually, that makes more sense. I was kind of trying to compare it to Pharaoh, but Pharaoh actually doesn't have a PHAO in the beginning.
Right.
It has a PHA and then ROAH.
Yeah. I think someone typoed and just said, nah, I'll just leave it like that.
So maybe it is Ferris. Feoris.
Or maybe the P is
Faoris.
silent and it's Harris.
No, it'd be Horus.
What'd you call me?
A bog slosher.
Yeah, well, you're a Wartbringer. Barista Lynchin allows Rase to slosh again. Would you be so bold?
And if he hero powers, he can slosh again and again. He can really slosh up that bog.
You can slosh the barista.
To do.
Of course, it's up to her. It's up to her to press charges or whatnot. I don't know. There's a twit longer incoming for that bog slosher. Whew.
There's little time.
I mean, that's still a lot of value.
Yeah.
A lot.
I mean, dentists do recommend you slosh twice a day. For healthy teeth. 9 damage on the board, 8 from the hand with the 2 swipes. That's 17 damage. If Bloodyface had some way to activate the Zephyrus, but seems to be a ways away.
If he Ferocious Howls, does he only has 1 duplicate left in the deck,
What?
which is Crystal Merchant. So if he Ferocious Howls and draws Crystal Merchant, Zephyrus is active.
Then Wind Fury Swipe.
Wind Fury Swipe would be 14, 18. Still not enough. What else? 2-turn setup?
Roar.
Savage Roar is 6 damage, which is 1 more than Wind Fury. Still off. Because you can't even swipe that turn. Oh, yeah, you can. Savage Roar swipe. No. You wouldn't have enough mana because you have to spend the 3 on Ferocious Hell and the 2 on Zephyrus. And that's a 1 in 9, right? To hit the Crystal Merchant.
Fair enough. Ferris.
He does still have a Lodi in his deck.
Our power is our.
The Arena Treasure Chest. I feel like we keep seeing that treasure chest a lot. Regenerating Thug at the start of your turn. Restore 2 health to this minion. That's it.
So Rase has a lot to process this turn. One, reading Bloodyface's hand. The only 4-mana spell in the deck is Swipe. So by playing King Ferris, he knows now that he has 2 swipes in hand. He got a Whisk, so he knows he has Innervate. And he got a Ironforge Rifleman, so he knows that he has a Ferocious Howl. Or a Bees. Potentially a Bees, because he does have a Bees in his deck.
Also has the ability to mind control tech and like clear the board.
Yes. Well, I was thinking, how do you set up for a good mind control tech? But honestly, he can just double Sandstorm Elemental here.
Well, you play it, and then whatever you steal, you double Sandstorm afterwards.
Oh, yeah. So you mind control tech.
You steal 2 minions.
You steal 2 minions, and then you don't have room for a Sandstorm Elemental. So you'd have to...
We trade in a minion. Okay, so you're going to play the Argus this one?
Or Life Trigger?
Right. This to me didn't seem like a very powerful play the way I imagined it. I think Rase shook his head because he's pretty disappointed. Also, if this board goes down, his hand becomes pretty bad.
Oh, yeah.
It's like he's got 2 Sloshers, an Argus, a mind control tech that he missed an opportunity. I feel like what he ended up doing was played the power card that he wants to combo with later, but if this gets cleared by a Starfire, or if Bloodyface just like Oasis Surger and trades a couple minions down, his hand gets a lot worse.
He's still a Shudderwalk, though.
It's true. I'm just saying that his hand gets worse. It's you know, he still has draws off the top of his deck that could be great. Bloodyface has an opportunity to go pretty big on the board with the Oasis Surger and the Hidden Oasis. It's just an Oasis town. And the Anubisoft Defender. Looks like instead Bloodyface wants to prioritize removing as much as he can and developing stats. Fair enough, I like it.
There's the walk.
The 3 health is, the 3 health / 4 health is fairly important, and the 3 minions are important here for Bloodyface. Nicely done.
And
yeah,
still has some lethal outs.
This hand has gotten way worse here for Rase because of all the combo pieces in his hand and not enough mana.
Yeah, what the awkward part is, it's like he can't clear anything outside of playing Defender of Argus and trading in, because he needs, in order to make the board weak enough to where he could Bog Slosh a Sandstorm Elemental and kill something, he would have to trade it in, which means he can't Bog Slosh it, and he doesn't have enough mana to do double Bog Slosher.
Yeah.
So he's got to play Mind Control Tech, Defender of Argus just naturally. And then trade to 6-3. But this is starting to get kind of scary. Crystal Merchant, so there's Zephyrus.
So if you
That's
swipe,
lethal.
Yeah, if you swipe and use Zephyrus, you're offered Fireball. That's exactly lethal.
Yeah. Actually, that's one more than lethal, because the 1 damage from swipe will go to face. Oh no, that is exactly... Dan, that is exact lethal. You are correct.
Yes. It also will offer you Wind Fury.
I'm glad we debated that out and came to the right conclusion.
Or Savage Roar. That's my prediction. It's Savage Roar, Wind Fury, and Fire.
Yep.
Well, now that you've already attacked, I think it's not gonna
Oh, Rase. Oh, the look on his face.
Yes.
Yikes.
That's gonna do it. 2-0 for Bloodyface.
Yeah.
The Priest over the Warrior, and Druid over the Shaman. I think Rase has a lot of questions to ask about. Should that game have gone the other way? Did it slip out of his fingers?
Yeah,
Did
is
it
that, it was that
slosh
one turn.
between his appendage? I don't know.
You're just trying to look for the most disgusting ways to say words. Appendages.
Bloodyface takes the victory there, 2-0. Let's go ahead and check in with him as we've been going a little long on our broadcast.
Yeah.
And clearly we're going very insane. Bloodyface, what's up? Are you there?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, that's right. So let's talk a little
man.
bit about those games. The first one,
Sure.
the Priest versus the Warrior.
What a game.
Yeah. Nice
Oh, man.
edge.
I felt like I was probably about 5% to win. Like after it was like after I had to go in on my injured Blade Master, and he just like played Flunky, and then I couldn't like deal 2 damage to the Flunky. Like after that point, I felt like I was only like 5% to win. Oof. Yeah,
so you just faded draw. So, you know, that was pretty exciting. That was like a early all-in that just kept going. Reminiscent of those early StarCraft games, right? Where it was like someone would like go all in super early and somehow the game lasts 20 minutes, but scrappy back and forth. Game number 2, there seemed to be a lot of decisions on Rase, and that was kind of going back and forth, and it seemed like you were playing around mind control tech a lot. Was that on the forefront of your mind as you were trying to develop onto the board?
Absolutely. I mean, I didn't play my 3/5 taunt because it was my 4th minion, and like he also had a card in his opening hand, like, and it was like turn 10, and it just stayed there, and it like never even considered playing it. So it's either Shutterwalk or mind control tech. But after he started like going in on the Sandstorm elementals and he was overloaded for 2 every turn, I kind of felt like it was more mind control tech than Shutterwalk, because obviously I feel like Shutterwalk at any point in that game would like kind of bring him back into it. But yeah, I don't know. I was like he plays 2 of them. I don't know, like the odds are like the times I played around it, like the odds are he's more than 50% to have them, and it's like super devastating if he does have it, because my hand wasn't like spectacular. And if you just like stole like Cenarius or 4/4, even a 4/4, like, yeah, I felt like I could win without it, but then it got really close at the end, and it kind of started feeling like, maybe, maybe I should have been playing around it. But I felt vindicated after he threw it out there at the end.
Right. And you know, interestingly enough, that turn he played mind control tech. He had drawn Shutterwalk off the top, and he was overloaded for 2. So kind of interesting.
That was actually part of my game plan as well. Was after I noticed he was overloaded for 2, and he only had like 8 cards left in his deck, I did want to force him to play out the Sandstorm elementals, just because I felt like I only had like 2 or 3 more turns, and then I knew I needed the Zephyrus. Then I knew I needed the Zephyr. Like basically the exact way the game panned out was like pretty fortunate, because that's kind of the draw I played to. Yeah.
Nice. We only have time for one more question, and I know that we didn't get to see it today, but Highlander Zoo Warlock. You don't have to give away your entire strategy of what you're trying to do, but I do want to ask, who convinced you to play it, or is it your own conclusion to bring this deck to the tournament?
For better or worse, I've only been working by myself for GM, so I don't really have anyone to tap me on the shoulder and be like, hey, maybe you shouldn't bring this deck. But
I'll be that guy.
Bloodyface goes into the tank. 3 days practicing against himself by himself, comes out with Highlander Warlock.
Well, it's actually funny because I thought Highlander Warlock was a good deck before the nerfs, and I was playing against it at High Legend on ladder, and it was like doing pretty well. And the general feel of it was you're not losing a whole lot by playing one. Like a lot of the 1-drops are interchangeable. Sure, you don't get to play like 2 disease vultures and like 2 like flame imps and stuff, because those are the really good cards, but being able to have like Zephyrus and Sandbinder, because Zephyrus will like the Shaman matchup's really bad, but if you have Zephyrus in your opening hand, you can just get a Hungry Crab, kill their Murloc, and then all of a sudden it's like favored. So I just feel like having a single card that can like swing the matchup. And also the other thing I noticed about Zephyrus is that it's really powerful when you're being aggressive. Like it's not a very good like development tool, and it's not like it's an okay development tool. Usually you'll get like a Blessing of Kings or True Silver Champion or something like that. But where it really shines is where it's giving you lethal and like really big boards like Soul of the Forest or like Power of the Wild or Savage Roar. And so I feel like even though Warlock didn't get a specific class Highlander support card, Zephyrus feels like it does the best in Zoo out of like all the other decks. So
interesting. Yeah, it's really cool observations. Thanks for talking to us. Thanks for joining us. Congrats on your victory, 2-1. Wish you best luck for the next match this weekend.
Thank you.
All right, so